accidentally grab one. Okay. I just want to make sure you guys understand that we're dealing with inequalities, graphing inequalities. Phone up, please. Okay. When you're graphing inequalities, yeah, in your pocket so I can't see it. Thanks. Okay. We normally like to have x on the left-hand side. Okay, we've talked about this. If I give you something like this, and I can put anybody down here, but if you can't graph this one now, you got some major study you got to do, for this entire chapter. I mean, if I was you to graph, we like x to be here, and we've been saying that we put the number on the number line, and if x is on the left, think of it as the way that you shade. You'd shade to the right, and it would be open or closed at 3.
It'd be open.
Open and shade to the right. If I give you this, x is this.
Closed.
We like x on the left. We have -4 closed and shade to the right.
Left.
Shade left. So what I want you to understand, there's nothing new here, okay? That if x is on the left, it points the direction you shade, either left or right. It's either shade to the left or you shade to the right, okay? Now, if I give you this is where it starts getting new. This right here is not an inequality, okay? I mean, it's not an inequality, it's an equation. Why is this an equation?
Because it's the absolute value of x is what is equal to x is equal to
Equations have equal signs. Inequalities have bigger than or less than signs, okay? Inequality signs. The definition of inequality is not equal, okay? Our ages are not equal, okay? It's an inequality, okay? A couple of twins, their ages are equal. Now, if I gave you this, and we talked about this in chapter 1, the absolute value of x is 8. What could I take the absolute value of and get an answer of 8?
-8 or 8?
-8 or 8. We said what's in the absolute value could be the number outside of it or its opposite. Okay? So, if I had a number line, and again, if you're sitting there going, if you've been sitting here this entire chapter going, this is easy stuff, I got it. You're going to want to focus because I guarantee you're probably going to miss it on test day, okay? So, if I was to graph my answers, I would have a dotted 8 and a dotted -8 if it was an equation. But if I gave you this, okay,
It's still an equation.
it's an equation?
Oh,
It's an inequality, okay? Now the graph is gonna look different, okay? What I wanna know is this, okay? What I wanna know is, let's get rid of these dots here. Would, for example, 10, Cameron, you can't, you sit quietly or seriously, okay? I can't have you distracting people, all right? If you're not gonna do anything, just sit quietly, okay? All right, so let me ask you this. Could 10 be a solution?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's bigger than 8.
What is?
10 is bigger.
Well, the absolute value of 10. So, would I shade in 10? You said it's a solution, would I shade in 10 then? Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Would I shade in 9? Would 9 be a solution?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the absolute value of 9 is bigger than 8. How about -10?
No, because it's smaller.
Careful, careful.
Yes.
If I plug in
because
-10.
The absolute value of negative
Oh,
is 10.
And 10 is?
Positive.
Not because it's positive, because 10 is what?
The opposite.
Bigger than 8.
Bigger than 8. So -10 would be a solution. How about -9?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's
between.
still bigger than 8 because
The absolute value of -9?
it's 9.
And that is bigger than 8, okay? How about -100?
Yeah.
No,
Would that be a solution?
wait.
Yeah, because
Why?
it's still bigger than -8 because the absolute value.
Not -8, not -8.
I mean 8.
The absolute value of -100 is 100, which is,
Bigger than 8.
okay. How about +50?
Wait, can it be
Yeah,
just, yeah.
because it's bigger than 8.
Okay. How about 4?
No,
Oh.
because it's smaller than 8.
Okay.
And
How about, well, I'm gonna put, would 8 be a solution?
No, it's not equal. to
Well, it is equal to, but it's not
Bigger.
bigger than. So, did anybody see what we're saying here? We said we have 8 right here. You said not 8. 8 doesn't count. But you said 9 and 10 and 50.
Everything to the right,
To the right of what?
right of 8.
To the right of 8, but not including 8.
Yes.
Okay?
So
Or,
It could be anything to the
negative
left
8
of
to
8.
the left, but
Not 8.
Oh,
not 8. You're close. But totally wrong. Not 8.
Negative.
sorry,
Negative
-8.
8. Including -8?
No.
No, not including it, okay? So we're saying everything, now be careful here,
oh, this is.
everything to the, no, I'm gonna make it real simple here in a second if you're paying attention. If you're not, you're gonna be totally lost, okay? And so it'd be a shame because it's really, really simple, okay? We said everything to the right of 8 or to the left of
Negative
negative 8, okay? Now, what I want you to understand is this. Over here, we said, oh, you shade right or left. We did not shade right or left here. When it was bigger than, we shaded out. We shaded out. What if it was this? Let's keep it 8. Okay? Has to be less than 8 away. So, for example, if we count 9,
Yeah.
No,
I heard Deanne, no. Which is it? Would 9 be a solution?
no.
Why?
Oh, because it's bigger than 8.
Right, and it's got to be smaller than 8. Would 7 be a solution?
Yep.
How about 6?
Yeah.
How about negative 3?
Yeah.
How about negative 7?
Yeah.
So what do you think we're shading in here? Not everything.
to the left.
Well,
of
would I
8.
include to the left of 8?
Yeah.
Keep talking. How about negative 100? Negative 100 is to the left of it. So do we count that one or not?
No, because it's bigger than 8
Okay. So how far to the left we go? Not forever.
to negative 8.
So what do we shade in? Not everything outside of them.
Everything's in between.
So listen carefully. We usually went, oh, like I said, I'm going to make it real simple. Up until this section, we always shaded right or we shaded left. When you have inequalities that are absolute value, you don't shade right or left. You shade between or
Out.
out. Either out or in.
Oh.
Bigger than, think about it, bigger than. That's out. Think of it as distance. That's what absolute value is, distance. Absolute values, bigger than you shade out, smaller than you shade in. Okay?
It's actually making more sense.
Right. Okay? But again, you got to understand it. Here's what you don't do. And somebody in here, I have no idea who, because it happens every year. Here's what a student will do. They'll go this, they'll go, here's negative 8, here's positive 8, open dots. It's pointed left, so I shade left. It's pointed
No.
left, so I shade left. No!
It's everything.
Is it pointing left? Yeah.
Yes.
Does that mean you shade left?
No.
No. Absolute values you shade out or in.
Yeah.
Everything else is either left or right. But absolute values is either out or in. Bigger than is out, less than is in. Okay?
Okay.
So let's try this. Absolute value of x is 18. Absolute value of x, are we going to shade left or are we going to shade right?
Neither.
Good. Neither. In between. Why?
Because
Between what? Between what and what? 18 and
Negative 18.
open or closed dots?
Closed.
Open, or yeah, closed.
Why?
Closed because
Which
there's
one's
one.
closed?
Oh.
Closed, and shade where?
In between.
What if it said bigger than?
Well then.
Closed and out. Again, we're making it real simple. Up until, this whole chapter's been shading left or shading right.
But now it's.
Absolute values, you shade out or in. Out if it's bigger, in if it's smaller, okay? All right, let's actually start the assignment. Okay, so, you already have paper, you might want to grab a piece of paper.
Yeah, we're starting.
Starting right now, 2-6. Okay, so let's look at question number 3. Okay, so we have. Okay, the absolute value of x is less than 3. Now, if you can answer this right now, fantastic. If not, it's okay, but hopefully you can answer by the end of the day, end of the hour day. Are we going to shade left or are we going to shade right?
Neither.
Neither. We're going to shade
In between.
in.
between.
Why?
Because it's
Because.
greater.
It's less than. Less is in, greater is out. You're going to have to memorize that somehow. I can't think of a real good way of memorizing. Just greater than's out, less than's in. Okay? So, where are we going to put our dots at?
Negative 3 and 3.
Negative 3 and 3, open or closed?
Closed.
Open.
No, open.
Why?
Because it's not
There's no
equal
line.
to.
No line. I love that answer. And shade where?
In between.
In between. Done. Okay? Now, here's the deal. They don't ask you to graph it on the assignment. They want you to write it as an inequality, okay? So you guys said it's in between them. So what you write is negative 3 is less than x is less than 3. Okay? Everything in between negative 3 and 3. Okay, next one. Yeah, there's only like, how many questions are on this?
30.
No, not that many. There's only, where are they at? There's only 16, so I'll do about 7 or 8 of them today.
16.
16 of them. Now, here we go though, number 5. We haven't done one like this yet. Okay, this one's a little bit different. D plus 9 is bigger than 3. D plus 9. Absolute value of D plus 9 is bigger than 3. I think that's what it says. Okay. How are we going to shade on this one?
Don't you have to?
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Hang on. Hold that thought. We're going to shade in or we're going to shade out?
We're gonna say in.
Out.
Why in? Why out?
Because
Wait, no,
it's
we're
greater
gonna say
than.
out
It's
because.
greater than.
It's
Greater than. So, let's draw a number line and let's put two things here and we're going to shade out. Open or close dots?
Open.
Open and shade out. Open and out. Now,
But
do we put 3 and negative 3 and 3 in?
No.
This one's different. What were you saying?
You have to, solve the.
You have to solve it. Now, if you remember from chapter 1, and I'm gonna be right up front with you guys here, there's a lot of people on chapter, most of you, the vast majority of you missed this question in chapter 1. What's in here could be 3 or negative 3. So I need to write D plus 9 equals 3 or D plus 9 equals what?
oh, and then
Equals what?
wait, what? 3. Negative 3.
Negative 3.
And then you
Then solve which of them?
both.
Both of them. So, we minus 9. D is 3 minus 9, which is negative 6. Minus 9.
Negative 12.
D is negative 3 minus 9, which is negative 12.
And then you
Okay.
put that in.
Now, does it matter where I put negative 6 and negative 12?
Yes.
What one should be here?
Negative 12. Negative 6.
Now, they don't ask us for a graph. We did it anyhow, though, because it's easier.
Helps us.
Helps us actually come up with the answer, okay? And we're gonna say it's real slow, okay? What numbers did we shade in? Numbers that were, what?
Bigger than 6,
Bigger than negative 6.
and then smaller than negative 12.
Say that one more time. What'd you say? You said and then. It sounds like I'm being picky here. I'm not. Or, and it's gotta be or. Because, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Or what?